Hi, ladies and gentlemen. Tony Martinez back here with Mr. Claude Diamond.
Hey, guys.
And we're talking about running, and this is part 2 of our series. And Claude was getting ready to tell me about a health club that he went to and why he runs. And but there's an interesting story.
Yeah, I was in a health club because it was I was in Wyoming for my son's graduation. Outside, it was minus 24 degrees. Now, Mrs. Diamond's little boy does not go out in minus 24 degrees, not unless he wants to change his gender, if you know what I mean. So I went to the health club in this pretty well-known, very fancy hotel. And I like to clean. I've read a lot of articles about the equipment in a gym. A lot of people are using it. And I don't want to sound like I'm a monk or I have obsessive compulsive disorder or I'm a germaphobe, but there was no cleaning products. There were no wipes. There were no sprays to clean the machines. You got people using this equipment like crazy. They're sweating on it. They're sneezing on it. They're coughing on it. They're dripping from parts of their body all over on it. And people are using it every half hour. It's turning over like crazy. It's a very busy hotel, busy gym. And there was no cleaning products. And that bothers me. So went back to the room. I got a couple of those wet ones or whatever to wipe it down a little bit because you got to, when you're using this equipment, if it's not your regular home equipment, and we clean our home equipment too that I share with my wife. We clean it all the time. So be careful of these germs in different places, especially in gyms too. Some of these big Hollywood gyms and things like that. Make sure it's there. You don't assume that the equipment is clean. Do it yourself, especially if you're on a treadmill or any of the Pilates equipment or whatever it is.
And I'm in full agreement. And I hear a lot of stories in my daily business, everything. And you can't get those kinds of germs and stuff from a pine tree in the mountains or a rock on the trail. So,
but not as likely.
Not as likely. But you do run. Or where do you run mostly when you run?
I run on either the streets, we call that road running, or I run on the trails. I love to run on trails. You give me, where a railroad is, there's usually a service trail on the side, and you go there, or a lot of communities now are building trails. Here in Colorado, I have this very upscale community, and they built, it looks like 50, 60 miles of trails with all different signs and maps, so people in the winter can go snowshoeing or cross country or regular running after it's packed down a little bit. And then in the summer, it's just great for hiking and walking, and I can go on this trail system and do 10, 15 miles without even thinking about it. And as I said, I love doing 10 miles a day. That's always my goal. In the summers, a little bit more. I love going in the woods. You've got to be aware in the woods. I do not wear my headsets, folks. These little things that get tangled all. Am I the only one who can't get these tangles out all the time, by the way?
No, I was dealing with it this morning.
Why doesn't someone invent a way to get far away from this tangle thing? And I've used Bluetooth too, and now you got another thing to charge. I won't get into that. But the thing is, when you're in the woods, you can't have things in your ears because you have to be aware. Where I run out here, we have moose, we have elk, we have deer, we also have predators, we have mountain lions out here. You need to make. We have bears too in Colorado. Most of these animals want to have nothing to do with human beings. They don't want to be with us or anything. So you got to make a lot of noise. Some people have bells and things like that on it. There's a lot of jokes about feces on the side of the trail with little bells in it from the animals that ate the jogger, but I won't get into that. But the thing is, make noise. When I'm in the woods, sometimes I'm deep in the woods. It's so quiet, it's deafening. If you know it, there's no sound except the wind. So I clap my hands a lot. You may sing to yourself, whatever works. Okay, because you need to let these animals know, and they'll give you a lot of space. You won't see a thing if you make some noise. You go in the woods, you breathe that fresh air, and you just look up. When I go running, I can see the trees changing colors. I can see the snow mountaintops. This time of year, snow everywhere. Okay, sometimes I might have to break a trail. Breaking a trail when it's snow is tough. Because out here, we get a storm and I go in the back country, I'm talking 2-3 feet or more. And I take about a much, much shorter run because 2 or 3 miles in heavy snow is it's a different kind of workout. You come home, you're sweated. You're all sweated up from the workout. So what I usually do, I'll wait a day or two on some of my favorite trails, and the snowmobilers and the cross country and snowshoe people pack it down for me. And before it gets packed down, I'll run on the streets and stuff because the streets are well maintained up here in the mountains. So go ahead.
I'm sorry.
No, so you can keep running right through the winter. Just be careful when it gets to the subthermal areas.
Which do you like better, running on the streets or on the trails?
Trails, without a doubt. I love trail running. I love it's a time to be alone, to be away from the phone and the computer. We need these moments of peace, of contemplation, when you're running and you start working out, especially in the spring and in the summer, you get that light sweat on your arm and down your back, and you're running and your body's functioning and you're moving like a gazelle in the woods. It's a very earthy, natural feel. Your body's working so well. You feel I can't describe it. I'm doing the best I can. I'm running out of adjectives and verbs here. But going in the woods, having that light sweat, and just your body's working, your heartbeat is slowing down, your body's working efficiently, the oxygen, this clean air is going in, your circulation nothing's hurting, and I don't know how to describe it. It's just fantastic. And endorphins start pumping through your body. This natural drug that we've all heard about, where your body, it's just a drug that goes through your body, and you just feel so good, so relaxed, so at peace with yourself. I don't know how to describe it better than that. So maybe I do love running. It's my exercise of choice. I love it because it's so simple. I put on my shoes, I go out the door. In the summer, I put on a little t-shirt and some shorts, maybe some socks. Maybe I'll go barefoot running, or I'll run in my those shoes that look like little feet, okay, or my other shoes, and I'll just go out the door. In the winter, I'll put on 2, 3, 4 layers of clothes because you have to deal with the different environment. And it keeps me healthy. I feel good every day having that certain amount of exercise. It is a habit, a good habit that I developed. This is what you have to do, ladies and gentlemen, develop the good habit. Now, let me bring up a little point of contention here. A lot of people say you shouldn't run every day. You should take a day off and stuff. And if that's what your doctor or your coach advises, I say take that advice. On the other hand, I run every day. I enjoy it. I modify it. I'm very careful of my knees and my back. I rotate my equipment. Some days I'll run a few miles. Some days, if I'm hurting or something, or I'm achy, and most days I'll run a lot more because I like to do it. If I have a day that it's too cold out, or I have an ache or a pain, it's okay to take the day off too. But I prefer to run every day, and that's just me and who I am. So that goes kind of against what most people advise, by the way.
But see, you're doing what works for you, and I know that you teach that, we teach that as well. Everybody's an individual.
Same with dieting, right?
That's right. That's right. Now, you were talking about these shoes that look like the feet and that are shaped like your feet. Now, do we have time in this episode to go into the new?
Well, I'll get all my different shoes if you want me to show you my favorite shoes and the different things I do in episode 3. Okay.
Very well, and I've got some specific questions to ask you about different types of running in those shoes.
Sounds good, Anthony. See you on part 3.
Thank you, everybody.